Well, good morning, everyone. It's a little later than I wanted, but it's 9-ish. That's good. It's good to be with you today. Happy holiday week for those of you who are, um, maybe some of you are off, like my husband and my kids. My husband's a school teacher, and the kids are off of school for this holiday week, so things are a little different around here, but I'm really enjoying it. And today I wanted to talk to you about don't wait for approval. Don't wait for approval. And, I think, in this particularly, I'm speaking particularly to the inner critic because many of us are waiting for we're waiting for some sense within, we're waiting for the green light from the inner critic. And even, sometimes everyone has an inner critic, right? So, sometimes with people who are really hard to please, you might have one of those people in your life, like nothing you ever do is good enough. Those people are ruled by the inner critic. Hey, and I'm getting a little heart. Let me see if I can see who's here. It's like comes and goes, me being able to see who joins these live videos. But welcome everyone. I can see you guys popping on, so welcome. Yeah, don't wait for approval. Either the approval of your inner critic, or when the inner critic is speaking to you through the mouth of another person. So how do we do that exactly? How do we not wait for approval to start really loving ourselves and loving our life and loving who we are in this imperfection? Mary Oliver says, you do not have to be good. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your hands and knees through the desert for 1,000 miles repenting. You only need to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Like, wow. Let's just take a deep breath in with that. Breathing in through our nose. And exhale, sigh it out. We all have an inner judge and inner critic. You can call it the inner prosecutor. And I haven't yet to meet a human being who doesn't have some aspect of themselves that's always hounding, kind of talking to you in your ear, telling you how you're not good enough. You'll never make progress in your life. The inner critic compares us to other people, and in some way, shape, or form, we're always falling short. I think this is really important to talk about right now, especially because many of us are gathering together with our families. And if we're not careful and we're not watchful of this voice of inner doubt within us, it can take us down. We can start comparing ourselves to our siblings, to our friends in a negative light, right? Sometimes we do it in a positive way too, like we'll puff ourselves up, we'll feel better because we're seemingly more successful or farther along than someone. But a lot of the times, it's the reverse direction. We are feeling like, compared to somebody else in their life, we're not good enough. So you might just take a moment to notice, like, are you waiting for other people's approval? Or are you waiting for your, a sense of like approving of yourself before you make the decision and the choice to really love who you are? And when I say really love who you are, I mean like have your own back. Like be so solid inside of yourself that someone can say something to you, make a comment, and you're not going to just go down the rabbit hole of self aversion or self doubt or self kind of beating yourself up. Being that steady and that strong inside yourself, being unperturbed, being sort of unconditional in your belief in yourself. That comes from practice. And that comes from a deep sense. It's the fruits of loving ourselves wholly and completely. And I think many of us know this. Like we know, you might know that if you really liked yourself more, you really loved yourself that deeply, that you would be happier, right? That you wouldn't be so overtaken by the voices of self-doubt and self-judgment within, right? Or is taken down by others' judgments, because it could be other people too who are, you feel, are always trying to, like when I was a kid, for example, growing up, I was just talking to one of my coaches about this yesterday. My dad, bless his heart, he's not alive anymore. He really struggled in a lot of areas with being okay with himself. And how it manifested in his life was that he always, I was looked at through the eyes of like, not good enough. It's just not good enough. It was almost like he was always looking, not always, that's a big word, but I often felt he was looking at me to see where I was going wrong. As if to like emphasize the negative will somehow remove it. Emphasizing the negative never fixes the problem. You see, you always have a choice about what you dwell on around, with yourself and others. You can dwell on what's right, or you can dwell on what's wrong. And the path to cultivating a greater sense of self-love, which is really the important ground of any healing work we do, anything you really want in your life, that deep joy and ease and peace, good relationships, feeling on purpose and on fire and connected and whole in your life, that all comes from loving yourself deeply and having a sense of respect and appreciation for, as the Buddha put it, no one is more worthy of your love and affection than you. And so I feel like I've thrown out a lot of little ends here, and I'm going to try to pull them together. So we can't focus with ourselves. Like right now, you might just notice, are you looking at yourself through the eyes of love or lack? And notice what answer pops up. Are you seeing yourself through the eyes of love or lack? Are you seeing yourself, are you looking at yourself through your shortcomings? Or are you looking at yourself through your beauty, like acknowledging your goodness? If you're like most people, the asking of that question will illuminate for you that you're seeing yourself probably through the eyes of lack. It's sort of our default, And then we create a lot of and then we'll keep feeding that, For example, something happens at work. Something just happened to me at work, for example, and I dropped the ball. I just dropped the ball on something, and I had some administrative stuff hadn't worked out, and I had booked 2 people together, and not knowing it, right? And so it caused trouble, and it was confusing, and someone, I messed up. Someone didn't actually have time with me. I remedied the situation, but when it happened, the first thing that popped up from within me was there was a sense and clutch of fear, and then the belief came up that I'm bad, I did something wrong. And that feeling can be shame. I felt ashamed that I had made that mistake. And that's not the voice of truth. That's the voice of the inner judge and prosecutor and critic, right? Now, if I believe that voice, then I go and I get small. I want to hide. I will ruin my whole day, and because I'll be just beating up on myself about how, or I might blame other people for not helping me more, or I could be blaming other people around that too, because I don't do this alone. But because I have a self-love practice, I caught it. And I knew in that moment when I felt that clutch of fear and all these beliefs about what I'd done wrong, and I'm hopeless, and I'm never going to get anywhere in my work because I can't keep things together. There's just all this barrage of negative self-talk that would spring up. And you might is this helpful for you? Does this happen for you too? And so I was able to notice that, bring my hand to my heart. And I've taught you guys this before, but tell myself it's okay, I love you anyway. I love you anyway. And I'm going to teach you in just a moment. This is going to segue us into a practice that I want you guys to all try. That's been really helpful. It's helpful for me, but it's also helpful for others in helping them like cultivate this reserve of like this self-love within, because it hasn't been taught to you. Likely what has been taught to you is like, focus on what's wrong, focus on your problems. When you feel resourced and good, maybe you'll get on that self-improvement project and you'll fix yourself into being someone who's lovable. Or if you're tired, if you're fed up, if you're frustrated, you'll just simply like sink, right? And you'll lose momentum and you'll lose steam. And so, you know, our normal mode is to get all up in the problem. But actually what we need to do is what Rumi calls step outside the tangle of fear thinking. And to step outside the tangle of fear thinking is a bold act of faith. It's easy to get hard on yourself, isn't it? I mean, do you think it's hard? Is it? It's not. It's not hard. It's not hard to beat yourself up. It's familiar. It's the default mode. It's unconscious. What's harder is to start to step into faith and say, wow, I love you anyway. It's okay to make mistakes. Like, no big deal. You know what I mean? This happens all the time. Like, let me check out what is going on with my scheduling and fix it so this doesn't happen again. And if it does happen again, it's okay, because my essential goodness is not based on this. Your essential goodness is not based on how much money you make. It's not based on what you do in your work. It's not based on how good your relationships are. It's not based on any of that. It's given to you because you're here and you're alive. Now, no one can trust that but you. Don't wait for proof. Proof ain't coming, because it's already been given to you. Look around. Look at all the blessings you have. You breathe. You're here. Don't wait for approval. Don't wait for someone to come and validate you. Because you know how that is. Like, someone validates you and that feels good. I'm not saying it's nice when that happens. But don't wait for that to start loving yourself. And don't wait for your inner judge and prosecutor to start approving of you before you start doing it, because it'll never happen. You'll never be good enough for that aspect of you. We actually need to step outside the tangle of fear thinking and start to do something different. And we do something different grounded in faith and trust. Trust implies that doubt is present. If doubt were present, you wouldn't need trust. Don't wait for the trust fairy to come and anoint you. Oh, now you can trust. That's silly. It doesn't make sense. Think about it. So stepping into faith and trust is essential. I'm going to give you a really simple practice that's quite profound. It's not easy, but I want to see if you can do it. And I want you to do it and let me know how it goes, okay? All right. And this is actually a tool that I teach my clients through the program that I offer. That's a private program it's a private coaching program. And I'm actually, that's not what, but this is also part of the self-love toolkit that I'm offering, like a ridiculously, totally shameless plug here, and I'm just going to be plugging away. This is it. This is the self-love toolkit. So inside of this comes access to the 7-week mini course, which I'm going to tell you about a little practice that is really helpful for cultivating self-love that is introduced in this course, right? And then, but inside this box, because the course is virtual, but inside this box, and it includes a 30-minute coaching session with me, holy cow. But inside this box is a multimedia art journal, 2 pens, the supplies that you need for the art journal prompts that are part of the self-love mini course. So I'm calling it the self-love toolkit. It comes wrapped. It has a little card. It says to from. Inside, you have a little sheet that explains the course and also the access code and the link to schedule a private session with me. That's like $59, you guys, from Friday through Monday of this week. After that, it doubles in price. I'll be offering it all through up until the holiday. But I'm gonna leave a link below this. Get it for you or for someone you love. Why not? I'm sure there's somebody that you love who could use this and not like another pair of slippers. Though I love slippers, they're fun. So that's that. I'll leave a link below, you guys. And I'm only making a limited number of these, and I've already sold, they're selling right now. So, and I'm going to start shipping them Monday the 28th. And shipping is included. What? You can add an additional 30-minute coaching session for $97. My coaching sessions go for much more than that typically. And my practice is pretty full. So, it's a good deal. Take it. On that note, as part of this program, something that I introduce in the course and that I also do with my private clients is this. In your journal, and you can also do this in the mirror, and you need to do this every day, you guys, okay? Give me a thumbs up or comment below if you're on board for this, because this will change your life. Simple thing. You just reflect on what I'm proud of. I'm proud, and I put my hand on my heart and I tell myself, I'm proud of you, Karina, for. And then I write down all the things that come to mind. Karina, I'm proud of you for going on that rollerblade this morning for another 3 blocks, even though you didn't feel like it because you'd committed to yourself to increase your fitness routine. That's true. That's really something, Karina, I'm proud of you for not losing your temper with Soli when she spilled on the floor. Karina, I'm proud of you for putting your family first and showing them that you love them. There's a few different ways, and I'll get specific on that. Karina, I'm proud of you for following up with your commitments. I'm proud of you for extending kindness and I'll think about the people that I'm extending kindness to. And this might sound like your inner critic is going to go stupid. You will doubt this process. Again, don't wait for the trust fairy to anoint you. It ain't going to happen. You actually trust is action. You do it anyway. You do it even when the inner critic is you don't deserve it. That's stupid. It's never going to work. You've tried everything else. You've done this before. It's never worked before. Stop doing that. Stop being stopped by this voice of doubt and inner criticism. And start writing down every day. Try it for the next 7 days. I am proud. Karina, address it to yourself. You wouldn't say Karina unless your name is Karina, right? I am proud of you for... do it. You'll probably cry. I cry sometimes. But this is how we start to, this is one simple practice you can do to start to cultivate and build up that feeling of self-love and appreciation within you. And this is the way we start to rewire our nervous systems and our brains so that, guess what starts to happen over time? We just start to do it naturally, right? But you got to start now. I don't care where you're at in your life. Unconditional love starts now. So start now and start this practice. Start stepping outside the tangle of fear thinking and walking it. Choose a different way of caring for yourself. Not the one of fixing and trying to appease the inner judge and critic or the judge and critic in others. Instead, start to love the one that's here right now and start to acknowledge the things you're already doing that are freaking awesome. You showed up here, you woke up this morning, I could already make a list for you, and I don't even, some of you I know and some of you I don't, but I certainly haven't been watching you this morning. But I can tell you, there's at least, 3 things right now that you could say up to this point that you're proud of for yourself. So do it, no matter how silly or how much your inner judge or critic doubts it. Take that step forward in faith and trust. No one's going to do it but you, and the time is now. All right, I hope this served you today. Share this if you did. That would be awesome if we could get more people on these things, on these live videos. That would be amazing. So share this if this served you. Pick up the Self-Love Toolkit. Why not? It's only $59. Good grief, it's an amazing deal. I mean, it's priceless. The value is priceless. So I'll put a link for that below. And sending you so much love and many blessings. Namaste. I love you guys so much.